I've got to get from this note to this note and figure out what the interval is. Here are my steps. First, I've got to work out the notes. Then I've got to find those two notes on a keyboard and count the number of steps between them. Once I've done that, then I can go look at the handout and figure out exactly which interval we're talking about. Okay? So those are the 3 steps. All right. So the quick refresher is when the note is below the staff, you're going to go backwards in the alphabet to identify that note. The closest line on the staff that we know is E for Elvis Goes Belly Dancing Fridays. The bottom line, the closest note to this note is E. E is here. So that means that this note is right below the E staff on the space. So the note right below is the letter right before. In our case, this note is D. So far I've got D. Now I've got to work out this guy. Every line or space has its own letter name. So if this is D and it was on the space, then the next line is the letter before D. So in our case, that would be C. If the line is named C, then the space below it is the letter before that. So that means that this space would be B. This note is directly on the line. So it is the letter before B, which is A. And then I'm going to remind you, we have a flat here. And if you see it, you must say it. So this is A flat. My 2 notes then, D and A flat. Now I'm going to the keyboard. My D is higher than my A flat, so I'm going to be descending. Here's D. D is ground 0, right? So this is 0. Now I'm going down. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to A flat. I'll do that again. D is going to be ground 0. So D is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half steps. 6 half steps. I go to my interval sheet. I go to the descending side, right? Got to make sure you're descending. 6 half steps is a tritone. That is the answer. Or 6 half steps it takes to get from one to the other. All right? If it's been a while since you worked with the ledger line notes, that is to say the notes that are above or below the staff, then my recommendation, go back and watch the tutorial on ledger line notes again. If you don't have that, it's going to be very difficult for you to do this accurately. And even if you're off by 1 half step, it's going to be wrong. So you got to make sure that you understand how to identify the notes correctly. Okay? It is worth the time to go back and watch that tutorial one more time and make sure you're good to go.